So I want us to discuss on something called interruption bonding. And what is interruption bonding? And this is I want us to specify in terms of the mother-child dynamic. And what is it that may have led to that disruption? That is what I want us to go. That is what I want us to have a deep dive into. And so the mother-child interruption bond. And what is an interruption of bond? It's a disruption to emotions. And we want to see, why is it that our mothers had the disruption in whereby they couldn't be they themselves, the mothers that were healthy, and how much it can reflect now that we are mothers. So from the word go, you know, if you're having, how do I know that? How can I know that I had an interruptional bond with my own mother or with your own mother, or you see it with your friends? How do they relate with their own parents? How do they relate with their mothers? Do they speak in high regards of their mom? Do they, do they have a bond with their mom? How do they connect with their mom? Can they call their mom just anyhow? How? And with that, you'll be able to know the kind of connection they have. Even if you say, oh, they speak often, but there's a way you'd see this connection is not genuine. And what are the causes? One of them being inherited pains. Understand our grandmothers. Look at your own grandmother. If you have the gift, if you have the gift of having your grandmother alive, how is she? How is she? I am sorry to say this, and I say it with grace and the most respect. I respect the elderly, and I respect, because I know even me one day I'll be there. But most of them are not so polite. Majority, they are not so welcoming and friendly. I've worked in the home care business, and when I tell you these women are not friendly, I'm surprised, like, how did you raise your children if this is the attitude that this grandmother has? So the aspects of our grandmother's mothering through our own mother, the traumas our grandmothers endured, to include her pains, her sorrows, her difficulty. Now this is for our grandmother. Her pains, her sorrows, her difficulty. This filter to some degree, the mothering she gave our mother. And also with us also, whereby you find, the pains that, your mother made you go through, you find that you still passed it down to your own child. And this shapes on how we relate to our children. That is inevitable. The way they say that, misery loves company, and the way they say about generational curses and trauma, this is how it's passed down, from the patriarchy to matriarchy, then us. So from the higher figure to the now your mom, then me, I pass it down to my child. That is how you pass down these generational curses. Because in short, our parents tend to pass on the parenting they themselves received. We also passing down the same parenting that we received from our parents. So that is one way that it led to a disruption to and understand these interruptions to the mother and child bond may have originated long way back before we were even born, and it remains unconsciously in our DNA as somatic memories that can be triggered by events reminiscent of rejection and abandonment. Let me go to a personal story. Like when I had my child, that's when my mother trauma really triggered. Like, when I tell you there was this anger that I had and I didn't know where it was coming from, that's when I knew, well, wait, I'm really going through mother trauma. And that's what we have, because as you can see, it says that it is unconscious in our DNA. It is unconscious in our DNA, and it's only triggered by somatic events like, abandonment and rejection. It's just in our DNA. And when now one of the generations is triggered by things like rejection and abandonment, that's when it exposes and its roots. And all of a sudden you're angry, all of a sudden you're sad, all of a sudden it's because it was never addressed back then. That is why it is very important, to for us to speak about these things. Let us not pass. Let us bring healing. Let us bring, connection with our children and live good generations and healthy generations. And amen. Okay. No, we can also inherit it from our own mother's womb. And here's the thing: whether we inherit our parents' emotions in the womb or transmitted early in our early relationship with their mother, we share them through an unconscious loyalty or family trauma. One thing is clear: that life will always make us move forward with something unresolved to the past. That is something about life. Like, if you didn't solve it then, there's a way, or there's a generation that will come and solve it. And they don't know what they are solving. So you either inflicted these pains inherited by your grandmother or from your womb, from the mother's womb. And sadly to say, like, I also don't judge people because I also went through it. Maybe, like, for me, when I had my child, I wasn't prepared. A lot of things came, and I do believe there's some pains that I did pass to my child. But trust to me, I am deciding to do better. That's why I'm bringing this awakening. We decide to do better. We heal for ourselves. So why do I have to emphasize on this aspect of interruptional bonding? It is because after experiencing an interrupted bond, a child can be hesitant, or even an adult can be hesitant to developing genuine connections or relationship now as an older adult. You know, because this mother-child bonding, it always serves as a blueprint for future connections, future relationships. Like, if you don't have a healthy dynamic now with your mom now, with your dad now, you'll be messed up when it comes to actually intimate relationships, or even mother or even children parent dynamics. So don't be like, oh, I would know it, I don't want to face this pain head on because it's very painful. But what would you rather? It will limit you. How many women have we had say that they don't want to have children? And of which I agree to some extent. Like, some people have been traumatized with their lives and they can't be able to handle another human being. That I agree. But mostly when you find like someone has a good career, but it's because the fear of what they went through with their own mother. That underlining deep rooted fear, it has affected, you thinking that you won't be a good mother. It is affecting your intimate relationship with your partner. Or even some have decided to be single for life. There's a saying that says, life is beautiful when you get to share it with someone. So you can see the hold that, these pains do bring to our own lives. And I'm bringing this platform so that we can speak about such dynamics, so that we can be generational changers. We can bring healing, we can bring wholeness, we can bring rational thinking and steps to actually healing. So that is the end of my topic today. That is what I wanted to discuss. I did want to discuss sort of this topic today. We've learned on interruptional bonding, on where they come from, on on what it does and what the impact that it has now that we are adults. If I missed out on anything, kindly comment in the comment section. The next topic I'm going is to discuss about the steps of healing our mother wound. Thank you.